Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com.
I have some friends who are very, very talented. And when their talent was really showing up, people had a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts about what they should do with their talent. Some people thought they should work for a church. Other people thought that they should move to Hollywood. Everybody had all kinds of ideas. And people didn't always understand when my friends took a different path. I'm Julie Lyles-Carr, and this is God on the Go, where we help you make the minutes matter. We're in a series about trusting God. Trusting God sometimes feels easy. Sometimes it can feel hard. We talked last week about trusting God when things don't always make sense. And today we want to talk about trusting God when people don't understand. Now, as I've shared with you, I moved across the country a lot when I was in school, and sometimes I was one of only a few people whose family made a relationship with God and being part of a church family something really important in our life. So there were things that because I had a relationship with God and because my church family was important to me, there were some things that I was not going to do, that my family was not going to do, that other kids around me were allowed to do. Other families around us thought were fine. And a lot of times it was hard for my friends to understand. Here's an interesting fact. How often do people say they feel misunderstood when they feel like people don't understand them? Workers in businesses say that they feel misunderstood about 40% of the time. That's almost half the time. It's not fun to feel misunderstood. We like it when people appreciate and support the choices that we make and the things that we're doing. But when we walk with God, part of trusting Him is dealing with the fact that some people just aren't going to get it. They just aren't going to understand what we're doing. Jeremiah 12:3 says, "But as for me, Lord, you know my heart. You see and test my thoughts." Part of trusting God is making sure that what God has told us to do and what God understands about us is more important than making everybody else around us happy. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't allow someone to correct us when we're going a different way, or we don't stay open and curious about certain things. But part of trusting God is just knowing ahead of time. Not everybody's going to get it. There's a guy in the Bible named Daniel. He was basically kidnapped from his home country and taken into another country where he was made a servant for the ruler. Now, this particular king, he didn't want people praying or worshiping anything other than the idols and different things that he was setting up. But Daniel knew that trusting God meant that Daniel was going to pray to God just as he always had. Now, this ruler said, anybody who breaks my rules on this, anybody who doesn't do it the way that I think they should do it, they will be thrown into a lion's den. But you know what? Daniel said, okay, whatever, fine, but I am going to honor God. I am going to continue to do the thing that I know is right, even when people don't understand. And God took care of and protected Daniel. Trusting God, well, it means that sometimes your friends, they might make fun of you. Trusting God means that sometimes people who you care about, they're not going to agree with what you're doing. But trusting God also means that you know God has a better way, that God is going to take care of you, that God loves you, that He's always with you, even when people misunderstand you. That's how big God's love is for us, and you can always trust in that. Let's keep the conversation going. I want you to text the word GO, that's G-O, to 89419, and we'll send you discussion questions and memory verses and all kinds of great things so you can keep talking about what it means to trust God, even when people don't understand. A big thank you to George Fox University. George Fox University exists to understand and equip the next generation, so I want you to find out more about George Fox University by going to georgefox.edu, and I'll see you next time on God on the Go.